Let me ask you something. Are you constantly juggling the demands of your career, your relationships, and your own personal goals, only to feel like you're falling short? Do you ever just get overwhelmed by the endless to-do lists and the pressure to be everything to everyone? You're definitely not alone. So many women today feel like they're trying to navigate a hurricane without a compass. But what if you could find an anchor in all that chaos? What if you had a timeless blueprint to not just survive, but to truly master your life? In this video, we're diving into 10 powerful Stoic lessons tailored for women, designed to help you turn modern challenges into strengths and reclaim your inner peace and power. Now, there's a big misconception that Stoicism, this ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, is just for men. That all its talk about discipline, logic, and endurance was written by men, for men. But that couldn't be more wrong. This isn't some modern spin on an old philosophy. Key Stoic thinkers argued that virtue and wisdom are the same for everyone, regardless of gender. The philosopher Musonius Rufus, for example, argued that women should study philosophy right alongside men because they are just as capable of wisdom, courage, and self-control. And history gives us these incredible examples of resilient women, like Portia Catonis, the daughter of the famous Stoic Cato. She was celebrated for her immense courage and prudence while facing down political tyranny. Stoicism isn't a philosophy of gender, it's a philosophy for humanity. It's a practical, universal toolkit for anyone looking to live with purpose and tranquility, and its lessons are more relevant for women today than ever before. Let's get into it. The absolute foundation of Stoicism, and your first step to reclaiming your power, is understanding the difference between what's in your control and what isn't. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. The only things truly in your power are your own thoughts, your judgments, and your actions. Everything else, what other people think, the traffic, your boss's bad mood, the economy, is external and totally outside your control. For women juggling the immense pressures of work, family, and personal expectations, this lesson is a genuine lifeline. So much of our stress comes from trying to manage things we simply can't command. Think about this classic scenario. You pour your heart into a project, but a colleague gets the credit. The typical response? Frustration, anger, a feeling of injustice. And while those feelings are valid, they're focused on the external, your colleague's actions and your boss's perception. The Stoic approach flips the script and turns your focus inward. You can't control your colleague or who gets the praise, but you can control your response. You can choose to see this as a chance to practice grace. You can control whether you speak up, not with anger, but with calm, factual evidence of your work. You can control your commitment to doing excellent work, no matter the immediate reward. Here's how to start. When you feel anxiety or frustration creeping in, just pause and ask yourself, is this thing upsetting me actually in my control? If the answer is no, like a rude comment from a stranger or a sudden policy change at work, then recognize that your energy is better spent elsewhere. Acknowledge the event, but consciously redirect your focus to what you can control. Your next move, your mindset, and your own integrity. This one shift doesn't just cut down on stress, it puts the power to control your peace of mind firmly back in your hands. Modern life basically asks women to be available 24/7 to our jobs, our partners, our kids, our communities. It can lead to serious burnout and the feeling that your time and energy aren't even yours anymore. Stoicism champions the idea of self-control, and a huge part of that is setting firm, clear boundaries. It's not about being selfish, it's about wisely managing your most precious resources, your time and your mental space. Protecting your energy is a rational act of self-preservation. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote about retreating into his inner citadel, a place of mental calm that no external chaos could touch. Your boundaries are the walls of that citadel. Think about the pressure to always be on, the expectation to answer work emails at 10 p.m., or to be the go-to emotional support for everyone you know. A Stoic approach means making a conscious, disciplined choice to define your limits. This could be as simple as turning off work notifications after 6 p.m. or scheduling unreachable hours for deep work or family time. In your personal life, it might mean learning to say no to social events that drain you, or telling a friend, "I care about you, but I don't have the emotional bandwidth for a heavy conversation right now." The best way to start is small, but be consistent. Pick one area where you feel your energy is being zapped. Maybe it's checking your phone the second you wake up. Your boundary becomes, "I will not check emails or social media for the first hour of my day." Use tools to help you, like setting timers or scheduling personal time in your calendar, like it's a non-negotiable appointment. Setting a boundary isn't a fight. It's a quiet declaration of self-respect. It shows others how to treat you by showing them you value your own well-being. So much of our world is about avoiding discomfort, but Stoicism gives us a radical reframe. Obstacles aren't just things to get through, they are opportunities to be embraced. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. For any woman navigating a world that often presents unique obstacles, from bias at work to the heavy weight of emotional labor, this mindset is a superpower. Every single challenge you face is a chance to practice a virtue. A tough conversation with your partner becomes a chance to practice patience. A ridiculously complex project at work is an opportunity to build resilience and problem-solving skills. Dealing with unfair criticism is a training ground for inner strength. Setbacks are not proof that you're failing. They're the raw material you use to build your character. Imagine you get passed over for a promotion you really wanted. The normal reaction is disappointment, maybe bitterness. The Stoic view invites you to find the opportunity in the setback. This is your chance to practice professionalism and grace. It's a chance to honestly look at your skills and see where you can improve. It's a chance to show your resilience by either doubling down on your efforts or seeking new opportunities with confidence. You can't control the hiring decision, but you can control how you use this experience to become stronger and wiser. A simple way to put this into practice is to reframe your language. Instead of saying, "This is a huge problem," try saying, "This is an opportunity to practice," and fill in the blank. This tight deadline is an opportunity to practice focus. This argument with my friend is an opportunity to practice empathy. This isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring real pain. It's about recognizing that while you don't choose your challenges, you always get to choose what you learn from them. It's the ultimate way to turn struggle into strength. Our world is an ocean of distraction. The constant pings from our phones, the endless social media scroll, and the mental load of juggling a dozen roles can leave us feeling scattered, always anxious about the future or regretting the past. Stoicism, a lot like modern mindfulness, teaches that our greatest power is right here in the present moment. Your life isn't happening tomorrow or yesterday, it's happening right now. Being fully present makes you better at what you do and brings more joy to it. When you're at work, be at work. When you're with your family, be with them, not mentally running through your grocery list. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said we should treat every day as a complete life in itself. This means giving your full attention to whatever is in front of you, whether it's a huge report or just savoring a cup of coffee. This practice starves the anxieties that feed on worries about the past and future. Think about mom guilt or work guilt, that feeling that when you're focused on your job, you're failing your family, and when you're with your family, you're falling behind at work. That guilt comes from a divided mind. A Stoic practice of presence means when you're at the office, you dedicate your focus there. When you walk in your front door at home, you consciously leave work behind and give your undivided attention to your family. It's about the quality of your attention, not just the quantity of your time. A powerful technique for this is what the Stoics called prosoche, basically, paying vigilant attention to your own mind. You can practice this by bookending your day. In the morning, take 5 minutes to set an intention. In the evening, take 5 minutes to reflect without judgment. Where was my focus today? When did I feel present? When did I get lost? This simple act of observation, done consistently, trains your mind to come back to the present moment, which is the only place you can ever truly live. Society puts this enormous pressure on women to measure their worth by external things: our job titles, relationship status, appearance, how many likes we get. Stoicism offers a revolutionary, liberating alternative. Your true worth comes from your character. It comes from living in line with your values, what the Stoics called the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Seeking validation from others, as the philosopher Epictetus said, means compromising your own integrity. He advised, if you need a witness, be your own. Relying on external approval puts your happiness in someone else's hands, making you a puppet to their opinions. But cultivating an internal compass of self-worth, that makes you unshakable. Think about social media, which is often a performance designed to get applause. You post a photo and feel a rush when the compliments roll in, and a sting of anxiety when they don't. A woman practicing Stoicism might still share her life, but her sense of self isn't tied to how it's received. She uses it to connect or express herself, not as a poll on her value. Her validation comes from within, from knowing she's trying to be a good friend, a dedicated professional, a kind person. The praise is nice, but it's irrelevant to her core sense of self. So, the real work starts with defining what living with virtue and authenticity means to you. Take some time to actually write down your core values. Is it compassion, integrity, growth? Then, each day, make small choices that align with them. If you value integrity, maybe that means having a tough but honest conversation. If you value growth, maybe it means reading a book instead of scrolling. When you catch yourself fishing for approval, gently remind yourself, my worth is not up for a vote. It's determined by my character. This shift is the journey from being a passenger in your life to being the driver. If this is resonating with you and you're getting value from this ancient wisdom, consider subscribing to keep exploring this path of self-mastery with us. Building on that idea of internal validation is the power of quiet confidence. This isn't about being the loudest person in the room, it's the exact opposite. It's a deep-seated self-assurance that doesn't need to shout. It's the strength that comes from knowing your worth, holding your boundaries, and speaking your truth without arrogance or aggression. In so many settings, women get penalized for being too assertive, but get ignored if they're too quiet. Stoicism offers a middle path, rational, confident self-assertion. It's about acting with what the Stoics called asphaleia, an unshakable mental security. Because your self-worth isn't on the line, you can handle disagreements, negotiations, and criticism with a calm, steady hand. Imagine you're in a meeting and a colleague keeps talking over you. A reactive response is to either shrink back or lash out. The Stoic approach is calm, firm, and rooted in self-respect. You might wait for him to finish and then, with zero emotional charge, say, "As I was saying," or "I'd like to finish my point." Your tone isn't angry, it's factual. You aren't asking for permission to speak, you are simply taking the space you are owed. This quiet assertion is often way more powerful than an emotional outburst. You can practice this in low-stakes situations. If a barista gets your order wrong, practice calmly stating the fact of the error, without being apologetic or angry. When someone asks you to do something you don't want to, practice a simple, "No, I can't do that," without feeling like you need to write a 5-page essay explaining why. Each time you assert yourself in this calm, rational way, you reinforce the belief that your voice matters. You're building the muscle of quiet confidence, and it'll be there for you when the stakes are much higher. In our world of instant gratification, patience feels like a lost art. We want success now, answers now, happiness now. But Stoicism teaches that nothing great is created suddenly. As Epictetus said, it takes time for a fig to ripen on the tree. The same is true for our goals, our relationships, and our own character. Creating a healthy work-life balance, building a meaningful career, or raising a family all require tremendous patience and self-discipline. Discipline, in the Stoic sense, isn't about punishment. It's about being a student of your own life. It's the steady, consistent effort you put toward your goals, day after day, especially when you don't feel like it. It's choosing the long-term good over the short-term fix. For women juggling a million roles, discipline is what allows you to carve out time for what matters, and patience is what allows you to trust the process, even when you can't see the results yet. Think about trying to get a better work-life balance. You're not going to solve that in one weekend. It takes the patient and disciplined act of holding your boundaries for weeks and months. It means having the discipline to log off at 6 p.m. every day, even when there's more to do. It means having the patience to know that this consistent action will, over time, build a more sustainable and fulfilling life, even if it feels tough right now. The trick is to embrace small, consistent actions over big, dramatic gestures you can't sustain. If you want to be healthier, don't vow to hit the gym for 2 hours every day. Instead, practice the discipline of a 20-minute walk each morning. The walk itself is less important than the act of keeping that promise to yourself. This builds self-trust. And be patient with your progress. You'll have off days. The Stoic approach isn't to beat yourself up, but to simply note it and start again tomorrow. As Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. It's this blend of steady discipline and patient self-compassion that builds true, lasting resilience. The modern world screams at us that more is better. More success, more stuff, more experiences, more followers. But the result usually isn't more happiness, it's more overwhelm. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote. Simplify. Focus on quality over quantity in every part of your life. True wealth isn't having many things, but having few wants. This is all about intentionally curating your life, trimming away what's not essential, so the things that truly matter have room to breathe. For a woman trying to have it all, this might be the most revolutionary lesson of all. It's giving yourself permission to not do it all. It's consciously deciding to say no to obligations, commitments, and even relationships that add complexity but not real value. Take a look at your social calendar. Are you saying yes to every invitation out of obligation, or FOMO? A Stoic audit would be to look at each commitment and ask, does this align with my values? Does this actually bring me joy or connection? If the answer is no, you give yourself permission to politely decline. The same logic applies to your possessions, your digital subscriptions, even your to-do list. The goal isn't to live a stark, minimalist life, but an intentional one. To get started, try using the power of the pause. Before you say yes to a new project, a social event, or even a small purchase, just pause. Give yourself 24 hours to think about whether it truly adds value. Another great step is to declutter one small area of your life each week. Your closet, your phone's home screen, your work commitments. As you clear out the external noise, you'll find the internal noise gets quieter too. By deliberately choosing where you put your energy, you stop being a reactor to the world's demands and start being the architect of your own life. So much of the time, our minds are laser-focused on what's wrong, what's missing, or what we're chasing next. Stoicism encourages us to regularly shift our perspective to what we already have. This isn't a passive wish, it's an active, daily practice of gratitude. Gratitude literally rewires your brain to see abundance instead of lack, and it's one of the fastest routes to feeling content. Alongside gratitude, the Stoics were pioneers of reflective journaling. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations was basically his private journal. He used it to examine his thoughts, prepare for the day, and review his actions in the evening, all without harsh judgment. For a modern woman, this practice is an invaluable tool for keeping perspective, learning from your own life, and moving forward with intention. Imagine you get to the end of a long, stressful day. Your mind is racing with everything that went wrong, and the mountain of tasks waiting for you tomorrow. A Stoic evening routine interrupts that spiral. Instead of ruminating, you take out a journal and reflect on a few simple questions. Where did I act in line with my values today? Where did I fall short? What did I learn? And what am I grateful for? Even on the absolute worst days, you can find something. A warm cup of coffee, a quiet moment, the fact that you have a bed to sleep in. Here's a simple way to start. A 2-part journaling habit that takes less than 10 minutes. In the morning, write down what challenges you might face and how you plan to meet them with virtue, patience, courage, etc. This is your pregame. In the evening, reflect on your day and write down 3 specific things you're grateful for. This practice does 2 incredible things. It grounds you in the peace of what you already have, and it turns you into a compassionate observer of your own life, so you're learning and growing every single day. Relationships are essential to a good life, but they can also be a source of major stress and emotional labor, a burden that often falls heavily on women. Stoicism gives us a balanced way to handle our connections with others. It asks us to be compassionate and fair to our loved ones, while at the same time protecting our own emotional boundaries and inner peace. The Stoics believed we have a duty to our community and should treat others with kindness. That's the virtue of justice. But they also taught that we should never let our peace of mind depend on other people's actions or moods. You can love someone deeply without letting their bad decisions destroy you. You can be an empathetic friend without absorbing all their pain as your own. It's a delicate dance between connection and self-preservation. Think about a relationship with a difficult family member. Maybe they're constantly negative or critical. The unhealthy response is to either get sucked into their drama or to cut them off completely. The Stoic path is to interact with kindness and fulfill your role as a daughter, sister, or partner, while mentally holding a boundary. You recognize that their negativity is a product of their mind, and it's outside of your control. You can listen with empathy, but you don't have to internalize their words or let their mood hijack yours. To do this, focus only on your own actions within the relationship, because that's all you can control. Ask yourself, what would a good friend/partner/daughter do right now? Do that, and then let go of the outcome. You are responsible for your inputs, your kindness, your patience, your honesty, not for how the other person reacts. When you feel yourself getting emotionally tangled, just remind yourself, their happiness is not my job, and my tranquility is not theirs to take. By practicing this compassionate detachment, you can build healthier, more respectful relationships without sacrificing your own well-being. These 10 lessons, from mastering your mind to simplifying your life, aren't just abstract ideas. They are a practical, timeless blueprint for navigating the beautiful chaos of being a modern woman. The core message of Stoicism is one of deep empowerment. The source of your power is not out there somewhere, in your circumstances, or in what other people think. It has been inside you all along. By focusing on what you can control, embracing challenges, living authentically, and protecting your inner peace, you're not just surviving, you're mastering the art of living. You are building an inner citadel that can't be shaken by external storms. You are cultivating a quiet confidence that's rooted in your character, not in validation. This is the path to a life of resilience, purpose, and profound tranquility. Which of these 10 lessons resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey can inspire others. And if you're ready to keep building a life of strength and peace, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching.